Yeah.
Yeah.
How's it going, folks? Welcome to the Wrinkled Podcast, episode 5. My name is Morgan. This is my co-host, Hunter, a.k.a. Sir Squatch,
Yeah.
the gentleman of the both of us.
Oh, that's for sure.
It's Nut Boy and Big Beefy.
You guys have to guess which is which.
That's right. Who's Nut Boy? I mean, listen. What is it? I'll be small beefy.
There you go. Oh, and I'll be like cashew man or something.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we can switch it up. Hope everyone's doing well. Happy, what is it? Sunday today. So
Yeah.
happy Wednesday when you're watching this. Most likely. We got some good stuff to talk about. Well, okay, we got stuff to talk about. Not all of it.
We have things to discuss.
Yeah. Not all of it is good, but hey, that's the way life is.
Oh, absolutely.
I've got a zero sugar Baja Blast, so
and I have a nectarine blueberry bang.
Oh, is this episode sponsored?
I hope so.
No, it's not. Hey, one day, I'm gonna crack open some bangs and be like, brought to you by Blue Raz.
Oh,
I've got 3 of those in the fridge right now.
I got 4 of those in the fridge right now.
Yeah. They're good, man.
Oh, they're so, man. Like I said, I don't want to talk about it too much because it's like, whatever. But dude, they're so good.
Have you had? I'll have to give you one. They're called Alani's. So we first stumbled upon them at Target, and they're about the size of a Red Bull. I think like 12 ounces, kind of a skinny can.
Yeah.
But there's 200 milligrams of caffeine.
Damn.
And they taste legitimately like over Monsters Bang. They are the best tasting energy drink I've ever had.
They have I don't know if you've seen the Gatorade ones. Those Gatorade ones are good too. I think they're called like Hydrate or something like that.
Oh, yeah. I've seen the bottle. I haven't had one.
Or reinvigorate or some weird shit. But yeah, they're like 200 milligrams too. Yeah, something like that, you know. But yeah, they're same size, 12 ounces, whatever, 200 milligrams. I'm like, yo, there's a lot of caffeine in that thing, man.
The Ghost energy drinks are good too. The people who make the protein.
Yeah. I've seen those. I've seen some that are like Scuff Gaming or something like that, or like Optic or something. I'm like, man, that's kind of weird, man.
Interesting.
Yeah,
but they taste good, man. Like I said, I'll get you one. There's one. It's like Cosmic something. It's like a purple and black can with like space stuff on it. So I'm like,
sounds fancy, man.
I had to get it. Like that's anything space. Like
yeah.
Eventually
it'll yeah.
Yep. Like I'm going full in, head first, nose tip.
You sniffing space?
That's right. I wonder what space smells like.
Well, isn't there like didn't somebody say like it smells like burning meat or something like that? I thought that was a thing. Like they analyzed, or because you can't smell in space, obviously. It's just a vacuum, you know. But
right.
I thought they did something and like put all the smells together or like whatever together and be like, oh, it would most likely smell like this, and it was like burning meat. I'm like, that's terrifying, because now I just imagine like a giant being having a massive barbecue in space, you know, who's like f***ing up on the grill, you know, like going ham on the grill,
just standing out there using the sun as like the barbecue with a giant just like grill floating there.
Yeah, massive cast iron on top, like searing a massive like whale steak or something. I'm like,
yeah, I mean, what causes the meat smell? Burning, sure, there's stars, but like, is it, you know, maybe like when the celestial pops out, all the leftover beings on that planet, he's like, well, I mean, might as well not let these go to waste and just drop them on the grill,
you know. God, what a terrifying thought.
Like human popcorn chicken.
Hey man, I don't want to be KFC. That's like my least favorite. I can't.
Oh, Popeyes is way better. Like, there's no competition.
Yeah,
at all. It's just it's soft and crispy, but like the crisp isn't too thick, and their sauces, so good.
Yeah,
like you can't.
Yeah, Popeyes is. Popeyes is very good.
I know they just opened a what is it? I think a Raising Canes, or is it just called Canes?
I'm pretty sure it's Raising Canes.
Okay, they opened one near us, and I want to try it just because I've never had it.
Listen, man, I had it. It's pretty subpar, if I'm being honest with you. Um, it's just like decent chicken. The fries, I'd say, are the best part. The fries and the bread are just so good. They
Interesting.
got the crinkle cut fries and
What do
but
you mean the
like
bread?
it's like toasted bread. You
And
know,
it comes as a side?
yeah, you can get that as a side, or because it comes with like fries, coleslaw, and that piece of bread and the chicken. But you can like
Interesting.
sub out whatever you want.
It
But
sounds like they're. I don't know which one came first, but on the East Coast, there's a place called Zaxby's,
oh, Zaxby's is
and
delicious.
I remember having that for the first time. It came with that big thing of bread, and I'm like, oh my god.
hmm
So I wonder if that's what they're trying to go off of.
When I was in LA, I forget what the place was called, man, but it was like another chicken spot, but it was like kind of Mediterranean, I think. It had like the nice like salads and like the tahini and everything, and I'm like, dude, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Um, because it's like sometimes you're just tired of like I just want something like kind of fresh and like bam, fragrant.
Hmm.
I don't want like a fried or whatever, like you dip it in this. I'm like, I just want something good.
Yeah, I like a good salad with like chicken on top,
Oh,
like
yeah, yeah,
hot
that's good.
chicken, like cold salad, but like maybe a nice grilled chicken on top, or even like fried chicken. Maybe if it's like buffalo, like I used to chop up buffalo chicken and put it on top of my salad,
hmm
and it I don't know, it goes well. I
And
would like no, go ahead.
I would say because it's like buffalo chicken's got like a little spice, it's a little sour, a little tangy, like fresh lettuce, fresh um like herbs and like whatever you got on there, like blue cheese dressing or something like that. Like I have a feeling that would be just the best accompaniment to something like that,
Right.
you know?
Yeah. I feel like going to LA would be fun just to try different places to eat.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
What's that? It's like that super famous like bakery or not bakery, some type of like Portillo's or something like that.
hmm, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember, but yeah, that place is pretty famous. They got like a bunch of like famous like desserts and like little small breads, and they do like little savory like little things.
A little bite
Like
size.
yeah, and I think about like the one time I stayed in LA for like a week, I ended up getting food poisoning, and I'm like every time I think of LA, I just think of food poisoning. Unfortunately, I'm just like
Yeah.
I can't do it, man. Like I'm too cautious.
Yeah.
I don't want to like end up in another situation where I'm stuck in the toilet for like 3 days. Like ugh, nightmares.
Yeah. I get it. That can really ruin it for you. I don't know. I just keep seeing like food reviews on like TikTok and whatnot, and it's like that looks amazing. Or I'll see like a video of someone. Oh, this is my first time going here, and they show it
hmm
and they show all the food, and it's like, oh man,
Yeah,
I
like
would love to.
it's just there's something about it. Like so I think for me it's the opposite. Like it's like New York stuff for me. All these like crazy like
Mm.
sandwich shops and pizza places and restaurants, Italian restaurants and steakhouses and stuff. And I'm like, that just man, that does things to me that I it shouldn't be a thing.
Wouldn't let other things do to you.
No.
I asked Abby yesterday, I'm like, if you could have one food for the rest of your life, what would it be? And without missing a beat, she's like, oh, fried chicken.
It's
And I'm
fair.
like, okay.
Appropriate choice.
I picked pizza because there's so many different types and there's so many
hmm
toppings you can put. I
Yeah.
feel like it would be hard to get old. Like, oh, I want, stuffed crust, and now I want, barbecue chicken or
hmm
pesto or stuff like that. So yeah, I feel like we could go on pizza for a while.
Man, for me it's because my favorite food is like pork bows. Like I love pork bows.
Oh,
Like they're just
hmm,
they hit just different.
yep.
But I don't think that's something I could eat the rest of my life.
What
I
about
think the
those
first
from what's that place that we go to with
banchan.
yeah, the little pork bun, like
Oh.
the
And those are
sandwiches.
good too because it's the soft pork bun or the bun and then it's the crispy like pork belly.
Yep.
And that's just that combo is just it shouldn't exist if I'm being honest with you. You know.
What are those
It's
called?
just
The banh mi bun. That's it. The
oh
banh
yeah.
mi
Well,
bun. Yeah.
that's just like a French bread roll, but like just
Hmm.
delicious. Like that's why God, yeah. Listen, any Asian cuisine is just usually top of the list for me
Oh,
because it's just
100%.
It's so good.
I would rather have probably any Asian cuisine over American food any day of the week.
Yeah.
It's just like I love I know pizza's not American cuisine, but I feel like it's more Americanized than like
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah.
other cuisines. But
Somebody's gonna get on you in the comments about that, man. Just let you know.
actually,
Yeah. He doesn't know pizza. This guy's a cringe lord.
you're right. I don't know pizza. I love Little Caesars. For $6, being able to get that, like,
Yeah.
listen, price to like performance. I mean, how are you going to beat that? But yeah, man, Asian food is just great. I mean,
hmm Yeah.
and now I get it for life.
What do you mean by that?
If you
Hey,
didn't
man.
know, I'm dating an Asian.
Well, you said for life.
That's right.
That usually
So-
implies something else.
I locked it down.
Okay, there we go. All right. Said nobody else is. Never mind.
And she gets my white trash culture.
There you go.
My
Your mac and cheese and hot dogs.
That's right. She gets my spaghetti that
Your
we have
tacos.
5 days a week in jalapenos and
Oh yeah.
TV dinners,
Oh man.
Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
But,
all encompassing like weird variations of somehow like foreign food that
Yep.
just has become Americanized.
No, but I do make a good like steak, like a good
Yeah.
tri-tip or a New York.
I was just
so-
gonna say, yeah, when I was over there, you know, you made the steak and everything, and that was pretty good. You know, came out like almost perfectly.
Mhm.
I'm like, it's pretty solid. You know?
Yeah, I made one the other day, and it was probably in terms of like the inside, that hint of pink,
Mm.
just enough. It was probably the best tri-tip I've made. Just me looking at it, being like, oh
Yeah.
my god, okay, it was great.
Well, you can always use there's this method where you can like check the ball of your hand, and like that's how if you want to like kind of that would be rarish, and then like medium and so on and so forth. That's like
Yeah.
well done.
That's how I like watching my dad, because he cooked a
Mhm.
lot of tri-tips. You know, there were 3 of us at home with him, so tri-tip in terms of meat is like the cheapest possible
Oh, absolutely.
while still tasting really good. And so we'd make a lot of that, and he'd just like poke it and be like, okay, it's
Mhm.
not firm enough. And then when it got there, it's like, okay. But yeah, she enjoys.
It's good to
when I make
go,
steak.
man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's,
Yeah, I know. Like
bomb.
it's crazy watching like my dad cook or my mom cook, because I'm just like, damn, man, like this is something that y'all been doing since before I was born. You know, it's like just the natural knowledge that comes with that, and you know, is kind of insane. You know.
Yeah, I know. Or like watching like my grandma, or just these people who have been cooking for 30, 40 years or baking.
Yeah.
And they're just like,
Mhm.
now I need this, now I add this, now I add this, all from memory.
Yeah, no recipes, no
Yeah.
whatever. It's just
It's just like, oh, and you know what? I shave off a little bit of this, or I add a little bit of this because it does this and makes it taste better. It's like, my God. And it's not even
Yeah.
their profession. It's just like
No.
a passion. It's like, I love doing it. So, you know, I'm now amazing at it because I've been doing it for
Yeah.
years. It's like, wow, that is insane. And I love it.
yeah.
Okay.
I know. I do love watching a good cook go to work, man. You know, there's something about it.
It's very satisfying.
Mhm.
Those are videos. I haven't been seeing them too much on TikTok, but I love when somebody's like making something
Oh yeah.
and they go through all the steps and like,
Oh, okay. All
time it.
right. So we're gonna listen. I love watching it too. The shit that pisses me off is when there's like 1,000 cuts in between every single thing they're doing.
oh
They're
yeah,
cutting the bread. It's just like, and they're, you know, fucking smacking on the sauce, whatever. I'm like, it is so frustrating, dude. I'm just like, clean, smooth video, please. Like, I know that that's the engagement. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that's what gonna keep somebody like on your video or whatever. I get it, but dude, it does it just annoy the hell out of me.
some
You
of
know,
them they're
I-
way too fast. It's
Oh,
like
100%.
you can have your cuts, but I think the stat for YouTube is like you want to cut every like 7 seconds. Some
Yeah.
of these people do a cut every like 2 seconds. It's just like chuk, 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 chuk. It's like, relax, give
Yeah,
us a
if the video is short, it's kind of tolerable. But if it's anything longer than like 30, 40 seconds, then it becomes like, all right, this is enough, you know?
yeah. At that point, you can't follow what's going on. It's like I want to watch and then maybe remember it or save it so
Mhm.
that I can make it. If
Yeah.
you do 30 cuts in 5 seconds, I'm like, okay, I'm not even paying attention now. That's incredibly annoying.
Yep.
Speaking
Yes,
of
it is.
TikTok,
Oh
have
man.
you seen this whole like trying to ban it thing? Like this whole I know
It's
that
super weird.
it
You
really
know.
is. I mean, okay. It is weird, especially since you can't really pinpoint what it's about,
Mhm.
because I know there's the whole it's like they're saving our data type stuff.
Yeah, Chinese propaganda, and it's just an
Yeah,
app for data collection and this and that.
right.
And I understand that from like a national
Abs-
security standpoint.
Absolutely. But at that same point, it's like everything we use nowadays does the exact same thing.
Like what doesn't the FBI or the NSA or whoever don't they
Right.
have on us? You
Right.
know,
Google, Facebook, Instagram,
yeah,
it all does it.
is it just it's because somebody in the United States can't take it and sell it to somebody else,
Right.
you
Or
know?
they can't regulate it because it doesn't originate here. So
Yeah,
because I know there's that whole side of the argument. It's like,
Mhm.
oh, TikTok is a lot more unregulated by the US. So there's that whole, like unregulated knowledge. People can say almost anything they want. They can put out almost anything they want. So there's that end, and then there's the whole data security type thing. So it's weird, and it's interesting to watch it unfold.
Mhm.
It's also interesting to see if the US government realizes how big TikTok is, not just as like a
Yeah.
platform for how many users. I mean, how big it is in people's lives, and like how much of an impact it's having on society currently,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
what banning it would do. So it's definitely
Like I said,
interesting.
it's kind of bullshit because like the whole like regulation thing, like to me that's like it feels like a faux argument, you know, like it's like a fake like talking point almost because there's I don't know how many corporations get away with a bunch of bullshit, you know, cutting corners on pay, safety regulations, things like that. Yet those things still exist, you know, because guess what? It's grease in the pockets of somebody else, you know. But in this case, they're just saying, you know, whoever is the confidant or whoever for TikTok is just like, yeah, no, it's just application, social media, whatever the case is. It's like, oh, if you want to exist on our platform, like you're gonna have to pay or whatever. And then they're just like, oh, absolutely not, because our user base is massive, our install base is huge. You know, we'll
Right.
just move it to something else or whatever. And it's just like, yeah, it's kind of crazy knowing that like the stuff that comes from Twitter, the stuff that comes from Facebook, things like that. It's just like, no, that stuff's okay, you know. But as soon as it's like TikTok and it's like a foreign, you know, whatever, then it's a problem. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
You know,
I
just call it what it is, and you can't get money off it and whatever. You know.
Yeah, and I know they want to. What did they say? They want the Chinese government to sell their stake
Mm-hmm.
in TikTok.
Yeah.
I, it makes sense from the U.S. point of view. Like, oh, we don't want. I don't. It depending on how you look at it, you could say, oh, that makes sense. They don't want another country to have some sort of influence over something that's highly used in the U.S. But at the
Yeah.
same time, there's not really like a great explanation for why that worries you.
No.
Like most of the US economy rests on the shoulders of other countries in terms of
Exactly.
imports and exports. So using that as your excuse, like, oh, they haven't, it's like China already has a massive influence over our entire economy. So
Yeah. From political whatever to just in general, what
exactly.
do we sell? You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't
It
make any
really
sense.
is that what you're worried about? Come on.
Like
Come
I said,
on.
it's garbage. You know.
Yeah.
Like I said, how many you know the big thing here in California is like, oh, like I forget what country is in the Middle East, but it owns like a bunch of land like kind of south from us that's grown for alfalfa, then that gets shipped over to wherever to for their cows and whatnot. I'm
Mhm.
like, you have no issue with that. You know what I'm saying? And we were at war with the Middle East for 20 years almost,
Right.
you know. Like I said, it's kind of ridiculous to sit there and say like, oh, it's because whatever. And I'm like, dude, we all have our hands in everyone's cookie pot. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
we have our hands in China, North Korea, and Russia's in our pockets, and China's in our pockets, and Great Britain has this and that and whatever. You know, it's like You know, it seems like it's just a faux argument for something. You know, we don't know what for sure,
Mhm.
but like I said, I think it is because they do want like it sold off or whatever, or just out of the hands of the Chinese government, which is understandable. You know, that seems to be like our second or third biggest threat right now, especially with like Taiwan and whatnot.
Mhm.
I understand it, but I said it doesn't make sense. There's like 1,000 other things that we could be doing. you know, like what did Minnesota just do? They just signed a bill to allow all children to have free lunch at schools.
Yeah.
I'm like, why is this not a nationwide thing? Why did only 4 states pass this? You know, like it's garbage. Like it's a distraction. You know,
Yeah.
I don't want to be that conspiracy theory guy, but it's always a distraction for something stupid.
Yeah.
You know,
People aren't okay. People as a mass can be dumb
Mhm.
because mob mentality stuff. He said it best in Men in Black.
yes,
Individuals are smart.
a person
peop-
can be smart. Yeah.
Exactly, but
People
people
are
can be
panicky
dumb.
and-
Yeah.
Yep.
They can, oh my God, oh, what's going on? And then they just feed into it with each other.
Mhm.
And so with everything all like this, when people sit down, they're able to think about it and contemplate a little bit and be like, oh, that
Mhm.
doesn't make sense.
Yeah, just you see the thing you like, the thing you use. Oh, the U.S. might ban it. It's like, oh man, that sucks. And then you go, but what else is happening right now?
Yeah, what's the difference between
know.
this and, YouTube?
Yeah,
Facebook,
because
Instagram.
we'll sign a bill to build a damn pipeline in Alaska, but banning TikTok, man, that's the number one priority.
Mhm.
Not the protection of the earth or nothing like that. You know,
Yeah,
these things aren't important.
and there are such bigger issues that you could tackle. Like seriously, free lunches for kids. That should be like, hey, education is huge, and although it's not perfect here, it's like a big deal everywhere. So
Because
yeah,
guess what?
kids should
It's
be able to eat.
mandatory. You know,
Right.
you either stay at home parent, whatever, take care of the kid and homeschool them or give them lunch or whatever, or send your kid to public school where they might have a chance to not eat apparently, which is insane to me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, it's mandatory. You go to jail if you don't send your kid to school, all kinds of dumb crap like that. I'm like, why is this not like,
Yeah,
like I said, there's more pressing things.
if you can go to jail for not sending your kid to school or not educating them, then okay, you need to then provide some guarantees like, okay, this is mandatory. We will
Mhm.
provide safety, we will provide education and comfort.
Yeah.
And yeah, make it okay, all the kids eat for free. Now while the parent, sends their kid to school and they know, okay, my kid is going to have a meal,
Yeah.
I can then go work to provide for them or learn a new job skill to then get a better job. It all makes a conducive society. The parent no longer has to worry about their kid eating. So
Nope.
now they can focus on, bettering and moving forward in their own career progression to better
Mhm.
provide for their child at home. It's not that complicated.
Like I said, man, I always say we're the richest country in the nation, man, and we can't, can't feed a couple kids to go to school, but we can sure as hell get our hands in a pocket for war or, call up the defense fund for this or that and the other thing. And I'm like, come on, man. Like I said, somebody's reading this script right now and they're going, he's going off script.
Yep. He's too far. They're looking at you've watched Loki, right?
Yeah. Oh,
The timeline, it's going too far off.
It's converging, man. It's splitting off.
Yeah.
But that's exactly what it is. Like I said, all the things we have in society, we're supposed to be better from the things that we get from society. Your taxes are supposed to help this and that and the other thing, but instead, they're used to fund wars. They're used to fund, police militaries and this and that and the other thing. It's never for what it should be for. It hasn't been like that in a long time.
Right.
Like I said, college should be free. Housing should be super reduced. You know what I'm saying? Because it's requirements for society.
Right.
I think we touched on it. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go for it.
I think we touched on it a couple of weeks ago about like the fact that to even say earn a living exists in the richest nation in the world is crazy to me.
Yeah.
You have to earn your way to survive when it should just be built into society. You add to society with your effort and stuff like that. Nobody's adding anything to society when they're living week to week, paycheck to paycheck. Am I going to eat? Is my kid going to eat? How am I going to
Right.
get to work? Whatever. Nobody adds nothing to society. There's nothing to build upon there.
Yeah. Do I have to skip dinner so my kid can eat?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It's
I get it.
bizarre.
And somebody will say like, well, that's just America. And I'm going to tell you to go yourself. Because guess what? There's enough money in the entire nation here to do this 4 times over for each citizen.
Right.
But we don't, because it doesn't make people money.
Yeah. It's all
That's the
priority
problem.
based.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. God, what was it? I want to say it was a Doctor Who quote. It's like a big standoff episode, and he's like, you know what the greatest human superpower is? It's how to forget your pain.
Mhm.
He's like, if people didn't forget how much things hurt, we'd stop having wars. Because they would remember how terrible it was. They would remember how painful it was to feel that loss and how many lives.
Yeah.
He's like, but it just kind of goes down in history. And, it gets written down and, oh, remember this. But do you actually remember it? It's like, no. Because you then remember how it felt in that moment. All the
Yeah.
loss, all the pain, all the hardship. And if you could do that without war, then we could focus on all the important problems, bettering our lives. And yet that's not the case. So
like I said, the threat of war it should almost never exist in this day and age.
Right.
There's surplus the world over, especially in these larger nations to have these, we can coexist,
Mhm.
but the fact that we still fight for land, we still fight for resources, things like that, when it's aplenty,
Right.
we could easily share and do whatever, but we don't like to share,
There's always a compromise.
Yeah.
There's always some way to meet in the middle. But it's, I think in large part it's a pride thing.
Mhm.
Why should
Oh,
we
absolutely.
compromise? Why should we? We have this right. We have it's
Mhm.
like, all right, let's break it down. You don't have the more I think about it, I don't know if anyone deserves anything. Like deserves.
Yeah.
It's like you're born, you're alive, you have your life. That's great.
Mhm.
It's easy to say, oh, I'm a good person, I deserve this. If that were true, bad people wouldn't get anything, and yet there's a lot of successful bad people who are happy
Yeah.
doing that. So I don't think it's a matter of, oh, I deserve it. It's like you have all of this, whether it be land, opportunity, career, money, whatever. You can go get what you want, or you can work for what you want and do your best and whatnot. If it doesn't work
Mhm.
out, hey, that's life.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's this whole, oh, we have the right to this, we have the right. It's like, listen, everyone has the right to something depending on who you ask and depending on
Mhm.
your point of view. Like, oh, I discovered this, or oh, I was here first, and this is my land. Well, it was somebody else's until you bought it, or it
Yeah.
was somebody else's until they found it. Like, it's all a matter of perspective. And so, like I said, being able to just look at it through a different lens, you'd be like, okay, anyone and their mother could say, I have a claim to this, but that's not going to get us anywhere.
No.
So let's find some sort of middle ground. Like, hey, we can all access this, or we can all use this, and we can make it work because that's what's going to be better for us in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
So it's,
yeah, it's society is weird like that, man. Nobody wants to. As soon as the person who says, "Oh, I don't want to pay off this other person's college, but oh, I need help," everyone's like, "Yeah, we'll get you some help. Don't worry about it, man." It's like I want it, but I don't want to give it to nobody else.
Mhm.
Even though realistically it would be less to just kind of do that instead of like hoarding it and being like, "Oh yeah, I'll keep it for myself and never help anybody, but always ask for help."
Mhm.
I'm like, you're just kind of an asshole at that point.
Right.
You're just
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not important when it's somebody else, but when it's you, it's important.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's the most important thing in the world. I'm like, it's just that kind of, that's you're not a good character. It's a sign of a person who is a good person is like you go out of way to help people when you can.
Mhm.
Like, if you need help, just say you need help. But like to sit there and not want to help anybody or whatever, and then go, oh yeah, but I need it, and then everyone goes, oh yeah, we'll help you out, man. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's fucked up.
That's one thing that I always think it's funny when people look to, millionaires or billionaires, and
Yeah.
you'll see these articles and they're like, so and so donated 25 million, and then they'll go on Twitter and be like, I calculated it and it's only 0.1% of their net worth, and I'm like,
Yeah,
you could give, even though you're not a millionaire, you could give $5 a week to charity. You could go buy a homeless person a meal, but are you doing that? No, because you expect, these hyper successful people, which yes, they could definitely do more. That's fine, but you're not doing anything other than being a Twitter warrior.
yeah.
It's like,
You're just
oh,
complaining
this
about
is-
something that somebody did.
exactly. Or with the whole Mr. Beast thing, he helped people
Oh yeah.
get that, like,
God, what a
the
fucking
eye
dude.
treatment.
That shit pissed me off.
And he just gave shoes to, I think it was like kids in Africa, and people are blown. Oh my God, he used it for a video. It's like, first off, what are you doing? Nothing, except complaining. Second off, you use the revenue from that video to then continue to do more things like that.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
it's just
why he's
there's
able
no
to
thought.
do that. It's
they just see it and just, instead of providing a conducive argument to this, excuse me, they just say like, oh, but he could have did more or whatever. I'm like, dude, like, what are you doing except complaining on Twitter or on Facebook or Meta VR or whatever the hell the kids are using nowadays, Among Us chat,
Hey man, he's a little sus. No. Let's talk about this, Mr.
Yeah. Come on, man. He's Mr. Orange.
Yeah.
He's orange.
Dude, it really is sad because like you can do anything and everything. Like I said, you could give that homeless person $5 and it might change their day. Like, you can always do something. And here's people out here doing a lot more than you're doing. And they made money from it. Yeah, but this guy has shown a path and a record of, hey, when I get a lot of money, I go and give it away.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
go and do these fun activities so that people end up with money. I give a house away for $1, which was one of his videos. It's like, what are you doing besides complaining on social media? Absolutely nothing.
It's instead of being like, hey, what can I do?
Right.
It's
that should be inspirational. It's almost like people who complain at the gym, like Planet Fitness.
Oh,
how they want people to feel comfortable. You can't do muscle ups or whatever. It's like, instead
you
of
can't
looking
drop the weight.
Yeah.
Like, you piece of shit.
Instead of looking at something like that and being like, oh my God, it makes me feel bad. Like, that should be inspirational. Like, dang, I want to be able to do that. What can I do now to get to that point or to help me along the road? It doesn't make any sense. Like, you're going to choose. And I believe it's a choice because you can choose how you look at a situation.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Oh, I almost got hit by a car. Oh my God, I'm so pissed. Or, oh, thank God I'm alive. I didn't just die.
Yeah.
And so just to choose to look at life through that lens, like, wow, he did a great thing, and I'm going to go and bitch about it.
Yeah. Like, man, that's real.
Yeah, like, oh man, 1,000 people can now see clearly. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Shame on him. Come on.
That's the type of person to follow every single like account on Twitter or Instagram that like, oh, free cash giveaway, this and that and the other thing, and I'm like, they'll tag 1,000 people in that, but they won't tag 1,000 people for a post about awareness of this or something.
Right.
Like I said, it's me. It's the me generation. It's the me attitude.
Yeah.
I said it's okay to focus on yourself, but when you're what did the kids say nowadays? You're chronically online.
Yeah.
You look at the world through a screen and not through real life. It's like,
it's like, oh,
what are you doing?
You're gonna complain about them getting something, but if you got something, you'd be top of the world.
Yeah.
Oh, why did they get that $1 million? Oh my God, I'm getting it. Oh, I'm so happy. It's like, oh, okay.
And guess what? It won't go to no charity or nothing like that. It'll just
Oh, that's another one I think is hilarious. Like, if I had that money, I don't. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't, because you're not helping anyone now.
No.
And even if you don't have money to give, you could help with time. You could
Yeah.
go volunteer at a soup kitchen. You could do anything, but you're not.
Mhm.
So if you think money is going to change who you are as a character
It won't.
at your
It'll just
core,
make you worse.
exactly, it won't. You're greedy now, you'll be more greedy with that money. Like,
Exactly.
it's not going to change.
Nope.
Ugh.
So that's why I always, I said, well, I get a good chuckle out of that is, like you said, you hear it all the time. And I'm like, man, you guys are something else. You guys are just, oh, man. I do love a good Twitter warrior, though. That's my favorite.
It's very entertaining.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just, man, I can't believe how much people dedicate on Twitter. Like, how much time?
I can't believe how much time people dedicate to social media at all.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you're in, kind of have to work for your living, like, there's only so much time you could spend kind of dealing with bullshit before you just get tired of it,
Right. Now,
I don't want to.
If your career is social media, that's different.
Obviously, that's way
like,
different.
Downtime to hop on there and be like, oh, I'm going to start an argument with this person. It's like, really?
I'm gonna go comment on the newest Mr. Beast video and tell him why he's wrong.
Right.
I'm like, you're just a sad sack of shit.
Let me complain about why this is unethical.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, that's my favorite thing.
Really?
Unethical.
Really?
I'm like, dude, we're not bringing people back from the dead here, man. We're curing people's blindness.
yeah. And
we're not experimenting on animals. Like, we're helping people see again, dude. I'm like, that's crazy to me.
And it's like, oh, you didn't have to film. It's like, you really think a guy that massive and that thorough didn't go to every person and say, hey, I'm going to film this. Are you okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
If not, that's okay.
You'll still get the procedure.
Yeah. I just won't film you if you're not comfortable. Are you like, use your brain? Come on.
So you're profiting off others, and I'm like, dude, how do you think the world is, man?
I think it's some people are just like serial complainers. It's like they're just itching, listen to a conversation or watching something. They're like, what can I jump on? What can I be offended by? What can I play the victim for?
Yeah.
What can I get upset about? And it's,
even though it doesn't apply to you, it probably won't ever apply to you. But somehow, man, you're just you're obsessed with this and like taking it to the next level of like just being absurd. I don't understand it. I never will.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, man, just go take a walk. Like, there are better things to do. Have a muffin.
Better things to do. Better things to complain about. Better things to get up and fight for. But
yeah, there are actual problems, man. Like, there are real problems. Kids not being able to eat at school. That's a real problem.
But Mr. Beast, man, he's terrible.
Yeah.
Man,
he should give away his entire net worth.
Yeah.
But I mean, even if he did that, I'm sure somebody would complain about something. He didn't give it to the right organization.
Exactly.
He didn't split it up equally. It's like,
or he didn't get enough money for it, which will always be my favorite quote about something like
that. Oh my god. Oh god. Yeah, people are something. Yeah, it's crazy. It really is.
I am always quite bamboozled by people's actions and thoughts,
Yep, straight bamboo. Isn't that a board game? Or a card game? I think it is. Bamboozle.
Bamboozle?
Bamboozled? Yeah, I think so. If that's not, that needs to be, because that's a catchy name.
I know there's the jelly bean one that's called Bean Boozled. Maybe that's what you're thinking of?
Maybe.
With like the nasty, you flick the thing and you taste, it lands on like, oh, cotton candy or like rotten eggs or something.
Oh, that sounds awesome. I'd be so down for that.
It's awful.
I mean, you can do it while like taking shots. I feel like it would make it either worse or a little more enjoyable.
Dude, I'm tasting the fucking. There was one that was like old Band-Aid, bro. I'm like, oh no, that actually made me like sick.
Okay, so one of these, I don't know if I brought it up last time, but I feel one of these episodes we need to have like drinks available, and so I already have mine picked out for you. You'd have to find something for me. Every time one of us says something, we take a drink, but we don't tell the other person what it is. So,
like water.
You have a phrase that you say repeatedly.
Oh.
And so every time you say it, I'm going to take a drink. And if I have something that I do repeatedly, it could be, like a physical cue or something that I say like a filler word, then you would take a drink and we try to figure out what it is.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
What did you figure out on the first thing though?
I mean, you could mix it up too. You could, because you're going to take a drink even if they don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it could be enjoyable and see if like,
That's interesting.
see how long, if the audience can figure it out. I think that'd be funny.
Yeah. I remember you were talking about doing the stream with like the Newlywed Gang,
Oh yeah, that could be fun too.
God, that would obliterate. We would just get toasted in the first like 5 minutes of that goddamn shit.
Well, I wouldn't do shots because I'm not a fan of shots, but I'll just sip on some.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'll mix like some vodka with like Baja or something.
I'll mix vodka with today's sponsor.
Yeah, you get crunk and then you stay caffeinated.
Oh God,
Two birds.
This is like a nightmare, dude. It's like I'm drunk, but I can't get to sleep.
You're slurring your words. Yeah, but I got 8 hours more in me.
Those 5 hour energies, man. They're kicking in.
I've never had one of those.
Me neither.
My brother keeps one in his truck in case he's like driving far. I'm like, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
just in case, driving at night or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll have to try one.
But just don't do it 5 hours before you're supposed to go to bed.
I mean, I hear in terms of like coffee's half-life, like when the caffeine has exited your system, it takes like 12 hours for it to get down to a level where you can actually go to sleep. Dude, I'll be drinking coffee till like 2 or 3. So, I mean, I'm already past that. Like,
no, I know. They said,
that's all right.
I'll drink a bang and like, no joke, an hour or two later, I'm going straight to bed. Because I guess it's a thing with like anxiety, like caffeine like mellows out your anxiety a little bit. Dude, and I get like, for real, like I'll drink a bang and I'll literally just want to go right to bed.
Yeah.
I just want to sleep. I'm like, I feel so like sleepy right now. I'm like, this cannot be good.
Right. Dude, I remember one time oh God, what was it? I woke up and then I didn't drink coffee for some reason for like 5 hours. And then I like went to bed and then woke up with a splitting headache and had to go brew a cup, drank it, and then went back to bed just to like get rid of the headache. It was bad.
Yeah, it's just weird, man. It's just, why would you do anything else?
Yeah.
It's like, I could just drink caffeine.
It's, oof. Well, on top of all this, TikTok and Mr. Beast negativity, we had to say goodbye to Lance Reddick this week.
Man, that's
yeah, that was.
It's a tough one, man.
It really is. Yeah, he was only 60.
Dude, I feel like, I don't know what it is. I feel like we're gonna start seeing people who like, yeah, they're young or whatever, like just start passing away like crazy.
I mean, he was in good shape.
Yeah, he was.
Like,
if any of you guys have not seen his LeVar Burton sketch on the Eric Andre show, go watch that. The dude is ripped, and also just continue to watch the whole thing.
I mean, just looking at him, you can pull up a picture and be like, oh yeah, you can't fake being out of shape too much.
No.
And you just look at him and go, oh yeah, he's in shape. I mean, Zavala, he's in the new John Wick. Like,
yeah, he's been in all the John Wicks.
Everything. Yeah. It's just,
he was in The Wire, Fringe. He played the one of my favorite shows actually is Bosch. He played the police chief, the commissioner in that show.
I've never watched it.
It's such a good show. It's on Amazon. It's a detective show. It's excellent, man. Honestly, it's one of the ones that I could like go back and rewatch like 2 or 3 times and never get tired of. Right. Because the story's good, the characters are great. It's main character is Harry Bosch, played by Titus Welliver. And his partner, I don't know if you remember Emil from Halo Reach.
Yep.
The guy who voices Emil in Halo Reach is his partner in the show. And I'm just like, as soon as I heard him, I go, I recognize that voice. So I'm like Googling, I'm like, it's like, oh, he was voice acting for Emil. I'm like, dude, I'm in there. You know,
God, what a
it's
good
like,
game.
oh, excellent, excellent. Just every time, man. I cry every time.
But I know I told Abby about that. I'm like, oh, Lance Reddick died, and she's like, what? I'm like, yeah. And I told her about like how, if you're not aware, he voices a character in an online game called Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
He plays one of the main NPCs, like non-playable characters,
Yeah,
but he's like a mainstay in the story in terms of the campaign. He's
been there since like the first day, literally
Right.
up until now.
he's he protects like the tower where your station is and whatnot. And I told her about how people are logging in just to go up to his character and like pay tribute. They're just standing there like saluting, and I'm like,
Yeah,
man, the gaming community is so tight knit when it comes to stuff like this. It's really nice to see, despite all the toxicity of just life in general.
yeah,
This, it sucks that it has to come to death or
yeah. Due
something
to somebody's
tragic.
passing,
Yeah, but it really brings people together, and like, you know what? This is what's important. We've had a great journey together.
yeah,
So it's nice to see. But man, it really
Yeah.
sucks.
I know, dude. And like I said, he was super young, and
Yeah.
it feels wrong. It feels like it shouldn't happen.
Right.
But as with all things, I guess that's just something we got to accept. Just
Right.
it could be anybody's time at any moment.
Yeah.
And it's hard to say, and I think harder to understand, but it's a side effect of life, man.
Yeah. I mean, tying back to what we talked about earlier, like you can go at any second. So, stop worrying about stuff that doesn't matter and just
Yeah.
make the best out of every day. Be grateful that you woke up
Live a
because
good
you
life,
could
be a
not.
good person, man.
Yeah.
The simple things.
You never know when you're going to sleep for the last time.
Oh, sir.
So, but yeah, it's wild. And
Yeah.
it said natural causes. I'm like, he was 60 in great shape. Like what?
Yeah, there's that it's that Dr. Cox quote from Scrubs where he's like, I've seen drug addicts and smokers and alcoholics live to their 85, and I see triathletes die at 32. It's like, again, it's just you'll
Yeah.
never know. It's just one of those things, man.
Yeah, it's really hard when you look at, oh, this is healthy and this isn't. It's like you can say that, and there are a lot of studies behind it, but there's always going to be that, like that clip of
People's
that
bodies.
Yeah, that clip of that lady. She's like, oh, I've been drinking Dr. Pepper my whole life, and
4 doctors have told me not to drink it, and I've outlived them all. I'm like,
yeah, it's like,
all right.
I mean, look at that. It's crazy.
Nothing like a good DP to bring you to life, man. You know what I'm saying? And also a Dr. Pepper. No, I know. Like I said, it's just, and it feels even more poetic. Because in one of the seasons of Destiny, like the second season after the Witch Queen expansion last year, it's called Season of the Haunted. They kind of focus on it was focused on Crow, who was Mara Sov's brother. It focused on Zavala, and it focused on Kaido, who is Callus's daughter. But it focused on what haunts them most, and for Crow it was himself, yeah, we're not getting the story of Destiny, but essentially that character was reborn. He was somebody who killed a main character initially. He was given power, kind of reborn, forgot all that stuff. But then he was forced to remember it by the big bad from the last DLC. But and then for Zavala, it was his wife. It was his wife and his son who passed away fighting like a fallen captain or something like that. And just to hear the softness and the it was super touching to listen to something like that, because the whole time we've known Zavala and seen him, he's just been kind of very stoic and doesn't really say much, and then to hear something like that and how and again, it's just a video game character,
Yeah.
this Zavala dude is not real.
Right.
He's not a real person.
He's the front man. He's the commander. He's the one who always has to look strong and powerful and protect. He has to put on that face of, no, I will keep you safe.
And then just to hear that and to know that like, you know, something like that affects him as much as it does, like it hits, you know, just especially now. Like somebody posted on TikTok, you know, for his just kind of like a remembrance thing, and it was like one of his big quotes from that season where he's like kind of talking to his like wife, like haunted wife ghost. And I'm just like, damn, dude, you know, like it doesn't, there's no, to know that we might never have this again, like it fucking sucks.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing more to it. You know, I'm usually not one, like I think the last big celebrity death that kind of affected me was probably Robin Williams.
Mhm.
Um, but this one, man, it just like, I don't know, you know, like it sucks when you feel like you know them, you
Mhm.
know. I think that's where it hurts a little bit more, is you kind of felt like you've known this person, and obviously I've never met him.
Right.
You know, I'm sure he was a wonderful dude, but like
Right.
you,
I feel like, you know, I feel like I know him best as Zavala.
Yeah.
Like, again, I love the Destiny games, and you could say, "Oh, you don't really know." You're right. I don't really know, but to whether it be a game character or a movie character, or whatever, these people have impacts on
Yeah.
your life. Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, huge impact on my life,
mhm.
like massive. And oh, it's just a fake character. You're right, but to be able to connect with people through a certain medium, like it just, yeah, it's tough. And
Yeah.
again, when this person dies, or when, you know, someone passes on, it's like, wow, I'm never gonna get to hear that again, or I'm never gonna get to hear, you know, oh, he's got my back, or, you know, yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. You know, it's the world, it seems to get a little less brighter, you know, and then you see the memorial and you see like how much people cared and things. You go, no, I was wrong.
Right.
You know, it's as bright as ever.
Yeah.
You know, it's just we have to go through that darkness a little bit
Yeah.
to see that light. You know.
Yeah. There's, you know, despite what you might think or doubt about humanity, there is that goodness, there is that light, and sometimes you're only able to see it when it gets dark.
You know, it's
Ooh,
very
ooh,
very
that was deep.
fitting.
That was good.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey.
It's very very fitting for the Destiny series. You know,
Yeah.
it's all about light and dark and good and evil and trudging the line sometimes. And like I said, sometimes that darkness it's overwhelming. You know, but every now and then you do get a bright spot. You do get a flash of hope, and you know the uncertainty goes away, and things do seem approachable, and like you can make it. You know,
Right. Yeah.
it can be done.
Yeah.
So I do. I wish his wife well. I'm unsure if he had any children, but obviously, you know, them too. And everybody who was a fan of his work and everything, you know, like just know that he does live on.
Yeah.
You know.
And we've got a lot to appreciate, a lot to look back on, a lot to,
Yeah.
you know, when you're missing him. Luckily it's, you know, we didn't lose the actor, but coming up April 26th, I've got it on the calendar for Endgame.
Oh yeah.
We're going to go out and get cheeseburgers because, you know, Tony Stark liked cheeseburger, and I've got it on my calendar every year. It's like, you know, it's maybe it's stupid, but it's, you know, it's one of those things. It's the little,
Yeah.
like, you know what?
It's how you mourn,
Right.
you know,
It's cathartic.
like yeah. Even though, like you
It's-
said, we didn't lose the actor, thank goodness, you know.
Yeah.
But like I said, we could still appreciate what was given to us and how it made me feel and all that good stuff, and you know, take it and just, you know, be better from it, you know.
Right.
Remember, not everything is a loss all the time, you know.
And, you know, every loss presents opportunity for you to then appreciate even more what you do have,
Mm-hmm.
and remember what you have and cherish those you do have. So
Yes.
thank you, Lance Reddick.
Yeah. you will definitely be missed.
Yeah. Man. That's crazy.
Yeah. Like I said
Um,
it doesn't feel right, man.
Yeah. Came out of nowhere. Um, I told you earlier, we watched the behind the scenes for Wakanda Forever.
Mm-hmm.
You've watched it, right?
Nope.
Did I spoil anything in that conversation? No, I didn't.
No.
Okay.
No. And I've seen majority of the spoilers. Again,
Okay.
we'll hashtag spoilers something up in
Yeah.
the screen so you guys are kind of.
But something I really like about their culture in Wakanda is when somebody passes on, they don't have a black tie funeral. They all dress in white, and they have like a big party to celebrate life.
Yeah.
I love that. It's obviously you're going to be hurt, and
Yes.
it's good to be around others to feel that pain. Sometimes you have to go through it. Again, it's that catharsis, it's that releasing what you're feeling and being there with others. But to then, all right, let's celebrate how they lived, what they lived for, what they stood for. Let's appreciate all the time we got with them.
With them, yeah.
Right. And I'm like, I love that. Like, you know what? Mourn, take your time, but after that, have a huge party.
Yeah.
And
Celebrate.
celebrate.
Like I said, it's like when you think about it, man, life is very fickle, you know what I'm saying? And it is like a very you can be saddened from a passing, I think as you should be, but there's no better celebration of someone's life than to just know that they lived and you were here with them and you guys were friends or colleagues or relatives or whatever, somebody was important to you. And like I said, to me, that's beautiful.
Right.
I don't look at death as something that we lose. Instead, I look at it as something that we gain. It helps us gain perspective. It helps us gain understanding, acknowledgement. Like I said, it makes us grow. Like I said, sometimes it hurts, and again, that's just how it's going to be. But to understand that, I think, is to understand life itself. So that you won't have the time. You won't always be here. You won't always be able to read that book or watch a movie or drive that car or whatever, like enjoy what you have, because it is short and it is fleeting and it will go by quicker than you know.
Yeah. It's always going to be the wrong time. It's always going to be too short, regardless of if you're 30 or, 90. It's always going to be like, why didn't I have more time? Or I wish I had more time. So, yeah, and I mean, with that, if you lose someone, yeah, again, you can have your mourn, but go, if they liked playing basketball, go play a basketball game. Go, appreciate what they loved and do what they love. So that way you still have that, that release, but now you're connecting with them on something that they loved.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. They will live on through your actions and, through your acknowledgement of, hey, I know this is what they like to do. This is what they would have been doing right now. Like it's just one of those things, man. Again, if that doesn't tell you that life is beautiful, man, then I don't know what does. It's quite an amazing, feeling. Like I said, to just know that we can do that.
Right. We can connect with them on some level.
Yeah.
And if there is some sort of afterlife, then hopefully they're like, okay, they're there.
Yeah.
So it's nice. But speaking of Black Panther, I noticed something. So, and we see this through human history, but they're super advanced as a society. They have vibranium. They have this hyper, advanced technology compared to the rest of the world, and yet they still honor this royal family. We have a king. We have a queen. We have this royalty. Everyone bows, everyone acknowledges them. Oh, my queen, my prince, all that. Which is typically, at least from the American point of view, like a very, archaic, single
Yeah.
ruler type thing. But if you think about it, nobody really cares about whether it's a democracy, a dictatorship, whether there's a ruling board or anything, as long as society is good, as long as things are prosperous. Nobody's starving in Wakanda. The economy is great. Everyone's
Yeah.
happy. They've got a giant shield over them for protection. They
Yeah.
have their loved ones. I'm sure people are living longer because of their technology. They have no reason to be unhappy.
Mhm.
So they wouldn't care about, oh, we have this queen and I have to acknowledge her as queen. That's
Yeah.
fine because everything else in my life is amazing. So why would I stop that? Why would I change that?
That's a good point. Because, like you said, for our way of thinking, that's not, yeah, again, I think for the Western ideal, it's not normal. You know, like I said, I mean, you have your prime ministers, you have your presidents, you have your diplomats, and whatever the case is, what I'm saying? But you don't feel like you're being ruled over,
Right.
Um, but I think it's an interesting way of looking at it because if you can do what you want to do, I don't care who is my whatever, you know?
Mhm.
Like I said, I can go pursue, if I just want to be a farmer, I could just go be a farmer. If I want to get a degree in vibranium, I can go do that and get assistance from, whoever to work on this stuff and be a scientist and push the nation forward. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not being railroaded. You don't have to ever choose between like something simple or something complex. You know what I'm saying? You can do essentially whatever you want and still survive in this society. Um,
I think
like I
it's
said, go ahead.
no, go for it.
You know, the backbone of society is the people in the society.
Mhm.
If the people in the society are happy, they can do what they want. They're free to do whatever they want. Why would they not contribute to society?
Right.
To push it forward, to keep the advancement coming instead of we're like, oh, I got to hit the old grindstone today. The vibranium mines need, they need working today. It's like, no, they don't, because we've had technology to get this stuff out of the ground for 200 years at this point. I don't have to worry about hard labor. I don't have to worry about this or that and the other thing. I can focus on myself. I can focus on my family, but I can also contribute to society as a whole.
Right.
Without having to worry about every single day, like, man, do I not want to go to work? Do I want to go to work? Do I have to do this? Do I not have to do this?
Yeah. And Abby made a good point because I mentioned this to her too. And she's like, also, nobody's hoarding the vibranium. Nobody's hoarding the wealth. It's, and
Distributed throughout everybody equally.
yeah, they treat each other like, even though this is like the queen and the royal family, they're all family. They're
Yeah.
all Wakandans. They're all one tribe. Like, there is no, oh, I'm worth more than you. It's like, no, we
Yeah.
are both, like, we're all one huge family. So we share everything. I feel like that also contributes to it. Like, there's no, lower class of, oh, we don't have access to vibranium or this technology. It's like, no, everything is shared.
It's a unification of society.
Right.
Everyone is for each other. Everyone has each other's backs. Everyone has everyone's support. Just because I might not be the royal family, or I might not be part of like the guard, or the Dora Milaje or nothing like that, I'm not less than you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I contribute to Wakanda in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Because everyone is important in that society. Yes, exactly.
Everything is important, whether you're a soldier or a farmer, or maybe you're designing, water systems, or a scientist. Like, you are contributing to society. So your role is just as important as everything else. So that, that was a very cool, like, oh, interesting.
Yeah.
And, when you look back at human history, all these rulers that have been overthrown, it's because things got bad enough and people had enough. They said, all right, we're tired of being unhappy or impoverished or starving or anything. So, we're going to take them out, change the way things are done.
Police states, mutinies, things like that. Like, nobody wants that kind of stuff in their country or in their politics. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, why can't we just do what we need to do to advance society and be together? But again, greed and want and all that kind of good stuff. Like I said, that stuff it'll always be somebody's.
It always shows up.
Yeah, it'll always foil somebody's plan somewhere along the way. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I I'll never understand it, man. But
Yeah.
each their own.
Yeah. But good for Wakanda. They figured it
Mhm.
out. Yeah.
Yes, only a fictional nation could
Yeah.
come together.
We have to write a made up society of, how it should be.
Yep. So it's quite the quite the eye awakening experience
Yeah,
when you think about it.
That's a statement on us. Being like, look, it works. Theoretically. I'm sure we could figure it out.
What is the one thing we need? This notorious space metal. We'll get there one day.
That's what's gonna lead us to that cyberpunk. Getting them chrome kneecaps and Anakin arms and eyeballs that can see like 30 miles away. Zoom in.
God, dude, that's my dream, honestly.
Yeah. Just be like
I
half
mean-
cyborg.
Okay.
No. I thought we determined the dream was death by balls.
That's another dream.
That's the dream you had last night.
Yeah. But like, I obviously don't want like. I mean, the cyberpunk is like corporations taking over. They run like most of the world, or at least most. Like, I obviously don't want that. If anything, like just like Johnny did in Cyberpunk, just nuke the tower that they're at and let it take itself from there. But
The technology, though.
yes, the technology. You know what I'm saying? Like the melding of human and metal, and God, it sounds so amazing when you think about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it just opens up the possibilities. Like, man, I want to watch some Netflix. Let me boot it up in my brain. Yep.
Yeah, it's just right there.
Or, like online shopping. You don't need to carry a card because your chip is linked to, it's got all your information. You can just ordered on the way. Little drone flies it. Like,
I more want the Coruscant version of this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like just big massive world sprawling, like whatever. Like we have star travel. We can go to like other planets and things like that. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want. I don't want like, hey, guess what? Your military is privatized and they only fight for people who pay them. I'm like, that sounds terrifying. That sounds like the biggest nightmare I ever could.
I love how they established that in like the very beginning of the game when you go and rescue the lady. Oh, like she's rich, so she paid for top tier protection. They'll be here in 60 seconds to like revive her. And it's like, what?
That's that trauma team right there, man.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. But hey,
one
they
day.
said we'll get there soon, man. We'll get there soon. Just that and genetics, man. I'm pretty sure that's what's gonna be next for us.
I'm so scared that I'm gonna like kick the bucket like a year or two before they crack like the code to stop aging or to transfer your consciousness into like a robot. I am so worried like it's gonna get right there. Dude, when I moved from elementary school to middle school, we graduated, and then that next school year, so like the new semester started for our elementary school, they installed this giant metal like overhang so you could eat outside even if it was raining.
Oh.
And it was like, where was this? And they got like iPads to loan out and take home so you could study. It's like, what?
Yeah. I mean, listen, to me, that's beautiful. You know what I'm saying? That is your societal burden. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is that you suffer a little bit because you want the people to come after you. You just get them a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Make it just a little bit easier for them. Because in the end, it makes it easier for you. They say it does suck because like same thing. Literally right after I left high school, oh, guess what? Anyone could use their phones now, even in class, and it not be a problem. Yeah. And I'm like, where the hell was this?
Yep.
I could have been texting no, but it's just like, damn, dude, But again, like it's just a phone and shit like that. And like, yeah, we didn't have any. I don't know. Like I think after like a year or two after I got out of school, they put like one of those. They spent like all their money on like one of those signs at the front of the school, like the electronic like flashing signs, I'm like, man, that's something else, man. You guys really put your money there, huh?
Yeah, our school got a lot of flack because like we needed new stuff, but they decided to spend a lot of the budget on new football uniforms. And
Yeah,
our
that's
football
usually how it
team
goes, man. Garbage.
Sucked.
Yep.
We had good individual players, but as a team, garbage.
Mhm.
It's like, wow, money well spent.
Yep. Like I said, it's
Yay.
quite the like I definitely understand that, you know. It's like I see these like new football fields around and whatever, but I'm like, but how's the school? How are the grades? How are the kids doing? Are people graduating? Is there college classes? Did they prepare these kids for, you know, upcoming life, whatever? And I go, but football,
Yep.
America.
You know, we gotta distract people from all the money that we spent on this.
Yeah, the woes of life, man.
Yeah.
Get in the way. Yeah, man. Black Panther. It's very interesting. I'm looking forward to finally getting to watch it. You know,
It's good, man. It really is.
I heard it's amazing.
I think, man, I don't think I can say it's better than the first one just because Chadwick was such a presence.
Yeah, and he's very pivotal to
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. You think of Black Panther, you think of Chadwick Boseman.
Right.
Unfortunately,
So
you know.
it's hard to follow up, but it is very good.
Yeah.
Namor, his the actor.
Oh,
I mean,
dude, yeah.
great. I love how he's just, yeah, he plays it very well. We'll talk about it after you watch it, but
Yeah.
he does a very good job. So
I'm excited, man. I forgot what that guy's name is. Yeah, he has some awesome fucking sounding name, and I can't remember. I can never remember.
I
it
would
'cause
probably
it's
butcher
just-
it if I tried.
Yeah, I think it's like a Mayan like descendant name because it's very like a lot of X's and C's in there.
Oh,
Like,
I
yo,
would definitely butcher it.
That's a sick ass name.
The only thing I'm able to like the water god, Quetzalcoatl.
Oh, Quetzalcoatl.
Yeah, you know what? Sure.
Yeah,
But I just remember watching like documentaries and hearing that name a lot. And I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, I can remember that.
and then we named a bird after it. I go, that's interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know, right?
Indubitably.
Indubitably quite yes.
Let us know what you think,
Birds.
folks. What'd you think of Black Panther 2?
Yeah.
And you know, everything we've talked about. Are you
Mhm.
scared about the TikTok ban? Is that going to change, you know, your life? I'd be super bummed, honestly. Like, it's so entertaining.
I would too. You know.
But yeah, let us know, you know, what you think about everything going on.
Yeah.
Is there a different outcome that you see? You know, what do you think is going to happen? And yeah, go down there and subscribe.
Yeah.
Comment. Let's get some engagement. We love
Yes.
responding.
Let
you
us know
try
how
to
you
guess
feel.
who is responding to the comments. Because, like, you know, they don't know whether it's you commenting or me.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So try to guess. I'm sure that's
That's fair.
fun.
If I throw a curse word in there, you know it's me. Because I'll call you a dumbass. Straight up. I have no fear, man.
I am here. Oh man. All right. Everyone have a good week. Stay safe. Like I said, hold your loved ones.
Hold them tight.
That's right. Do the right thing. Do right by yourself. You know.
Yes.
Yeah. If it feels right in your heart, go forward. And
Love yourself,
that's right.
and others' love will come to you.
Ooh, damn, that could go on a T-shirt.
You know what? We're selling it next week.
That's right. Hey,
I'll send you. What I'll do is I'll send you a marker that you can write. You know,
Mhm.
you can write on there.
Send you a blank white tee and say,
Yeah.
"Here, write it yourself." Yep.
There you go, man. We're selling shirts. I'll send you the link on Amazon for those nice Gildan t-shirts.
Yeah. All right, folks. We'll see you in the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.